median.
The journalist protection that have been put in place, media companies welcome that. They're not entirely happy. I want to flip the question around and ask you, from the whistleblower's perspective, if you're a whistleblower with a legitimate bit of information you need to pass on, you should pass on to a journalist or indeed an MP, how should you do it, do you think?
Well, there is as you know, there are safeguards for whistleblowers, but it's quite, there's some complexity and I guess uncertainty there. If I was a journalist, and I used to be a journalist, if I was dealing with sources, I would use whatever means I could to ensure that they were protected. And I assume responsible journalists and responsible editors are ensuring their journalists are doing that.
And you don't think whistleblowers have anything to fear about this? Whistleblowers still being able to do what they need to do.
Well, there's nothing. They've got nothing in addition to fear, because those call charge records have been accessed by the police investigating leaks for decades. Okay, so they're still going to be there. But of course, there is now, you now have the ability by using over-the-top applications. It might just be something straightforward like WhatsApp. It might be a more encrypted over-the-top application to avoid leaving a trail at Telstra or Optus.
This is an interesting point, because WhatsApp or Wickr, and I think you're more familiar with some of these than I am.
I'm familiar with a lot of them.
This is a way to get around.
I am the communications minister.
Indeed. This is a way to get around data retention, isn't it?
It's a way to retain
that stuff.
Yeah, well, you see, if you have a device, a phone, a smartphone, and if I call you just through the mobile phone network, then there will be a record at my carrier. Let's say my phone is with Telstra, then there's a record at Telstra that I've called your number. If, on the other hand, I communicate with you via Skype for a voice call or Viber, or I send you a message on WhatsApp or Wickr or Threema or Signal or Telegram, and there's a gazillion of them, or indeed if we have a FaceTime call, then all that the telco can see, insofar as it can see anything, is that my device has had a connection with, say, the Skype server or the WhatsApp server,
but not with me.
It doesn't see anything happening with you, and so you're right. So people have got to. It's important, I think, for journalists to remember. And again,
but this is also for terrorists too, arguably, and child sex offenders as well. There are ways to get around this.
There are always ways for people to get around things, but of course a lot of people don't. And that's why I've always said the metadata, the data retention laws, the use of metadata is not a silver bullet. It's not a 100% guarantee. It is one tool in many tools. But I think as far as journalists are concerned, I mean, as you know, I believe with Jefferson that if I had a choice of a government without journalists or journalists without government, I'd rather have the free press without the government. I really believe that. Yeah, no. And the work that you guys do is as important as anything that we politicians do to preserve our democracy. So again, there's a competing interest. You've got a duty to find out what's going on, and you've got a duty to protect your sources. On the other hand, the government and the police have got a duty to ensure that people in the Department of Defence are not, breaching national security by giving stuff to you.
I'm going to have to get on Wickr by the sounds of it. Now, let me turn to media laws.
They quote me in their ads. It's outrageous.